Hello, Zer0 Books readers. What you're about to hear is an excerpt from a conversation with Ankur Dnyanmote about Pink Floyd. Ankur is a musician, blogger, artist, and thinker who is especially fond of Floyd, and the full conversation is available on this week's Inside Zer0 Books podcast. The Inside Zer0 Books podcast is available to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy this clip and are not already, you might consider supporting us on Patreon.
My name is Ankur, and the last name is quite difficult to pronounce, Dnyanmote. But I'm from India, and I think that piece of information is a little useful to put this in context, because Western music, and especially rock and roll and its influence on the youth in different parts of the world, I think is very interesting in terms of culture-specific kind of an impact. I mean, in one way, it was our way of discovering rock and roll, because the first thing that I ever heard in Western music was Michael Jackson's Thriller, because how could you avoid it, right? I mean, it was so pandemic. Then when I was just eavesdropping on this conversation by the cool kids, a little older than me, discussing various rock bands, I noticed that the air became very different when they mentioned this particular band's name, Pink Floyd, and there was like this very enigmatic quality to the way they reacted. And we're talking about the late 80s and the early 90s. This was the era before the internet. The television that we had in our town was just now beginning to throw in satellite television and, images of the West. But this is just when I heard the name and I was just sampling rock music. And I heard only one song, I think. Eventually I figured out, one song by them, and that was Another Brick in the Wall.
I believe that was a hit on the radio in the United States when I was in elementary school. Yeah, it came out in 79, and I was going to elementary school. I think it was 1980 when this happened, or 1981, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not even sure what grade I was in, but I recall during a period of time in class when there was chaos going on. In other words, it was not the normal lecture where the teacher's at the front of the room and the students are paying attention, but it was more active than that. We were doing something as a class, and there were people talking, and it was okay to be talking and moving around the classroom. I don't remember much more than that, but I remember that I was not at my desk. I was standing up, and I just started humming to myself and then singing to myself, and maybe to everyone around, the lyrics to The Wall, "We Don't Need No Education." And my teacher just became livid, was just so angry at me. And, in my mind, I was singing a pop tune. I don't know. I mean, I knew it was sort of naughty, but I didn't think that it was going to get that kind of reaction. And when it did, it sort of made me realize the power of that song, and also the power of the sentiment. Like that there was, I don't know, it seemed like the teacher was giving the game away. That's what I knew of Pink Floyd